Let's go. Let's go.
Good morning. You know what? Even YouTube is having a difficult time waking up this morning. YouTube running a little on the delay this morning. I see. Maybe it's too cold for YouTube. It could be too cold for YouTube. Good morning, everybody. I'm JD Crean, and welcome to the Aired Out Podcast live from chilly Vermont. We're at my house this morning. It was sitting right around negative 15. I think parts of the kingdom checking in this morning at about negative 20 is what I'm hearing. But a safe bet to say that most, if not all of us here in the Green Mountain State are on the underside of zero this morning. And yes, to all of our friends who listen elsewhere, that's air temperature. That's not with the wind chill, which the National Weather Service is trying to do away with now. They don't want to use the word wind chill anymore. These are air temperatures, yes. Can we handle it? We can. We can. Sometimes when it's this cold, when you start driving your car, it feels like you got bricks in your wheels. But we're going to do just fine. And yes, I want to thank this morning, before we even get started, the volunteers who manned the Barrie Auditorium last night as a shelter for folks that need a warm place to stay. 4 individuals were there last night. Only 4, which really surprised me. The shelter's going to remain open until Thursday, is my understanding. But thank you to the volunteers that did that. Let's check in this morning with Deb Phillips over at the World. Good morning, Deborah. How are you?
Good morning, JD. How are you doing?
It is Tuesday. I'm doing well. It's already the 21st. Hard to believe that this month is ticking on by. We're approaching February, but today is the World Day. Today's when we get our new copy. What can we expect in there?
Well, the Farmers Night concerts start this Wednesday at 7:30 at the Vermont State House with the Upper Valley Community Band. These concerts run throughout the legislature every Wednesday at 7:30. They're free and open to the public. Also, if you're looking for a fun date night on Valentine's Day, the Fleetwood Mac tribute band, Tusk, will be at the Barrie Opera House. We also have the Division I high school basketball matchup at the Barrie Auditorium on Friday, January 24th. And we want you to make sure you don't miss the grocery specials at the Granite City Market and Pump and Pantry. So papers are out being delivered, neither cold nor rain or
Yeah.
We're getting them out there. So be sure to pick yours up at any of the 300 newsstands.
Wow, 300, and we're talking over 20,000 Vermonters picking up the World and getting their eyes on the World.
Well, we're talking about 9,000, but readers average about 22,000.
Wow. VT-world.com is you can see the digital version online there, right, Deb?
That's correct. That's
right.
Up and running right now.
All right. Wonderful. Can't wait to get my my fresh new copy today, and I'm not sure if Chris will be out in the cold, but I'm guessing that he will. He's a tough guy. I got to say, I saw Tusk at the Opera House a few years ago. They are absolutely fantastic. That is going to be one heck of a show, Deb.
Oh, definitely, definitely one not to miss.
And wonderful that you would bring up the concerts at the State House. I mean, this is something that's been going on. This is a tradition that goes way, way back.
Way back, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not sure exactly how long, but quite a ways back. It's saying goes back over 100 yeyears.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, keeping the legislators entertained
That's
midweek.
Right. That's right. Awesome. That's wonderful that you guys have that in the paper. Thank you so much, Deb. Say hello to Gary for us, and we'll catch you again next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, JD.
All right. Deb Phillips right there from the world. Happy birthday today to Darlene Avery. Monique Billings-Payette is on the list, along with Ruth Sherman, Wendy Woolever, Denise Levine, Nella Lumber, Becca Henry. Happy birthday, Becca. Let's see, Tammy Coda and Sherry Henry, all celebrating birthdays today. Quick programming note before I forget. Two things tomorrow. Maura Quinn is going to be sharing the microphone with me tomorrow morning. We're going to be sharing her story with you. And if you know Maura, and a lot of people do, you probably know what that story is, but I don't want to allude to too much here, but it is an amazing story, and I'm thrilled, actually, that she's going to be brave enough to come in here tomorrow morning and share a microphone with me and share that with all of you. It is going to be incredible. And then tomorrow afternoon, we are going to shift gears and host a special Wednesday afternoon podcast episode with Sweethearts and Heroes. And if you are not familiar with this organization and everything that they have done for countless children, not just here in Vermont, but just all over the country, you do not want to miss this. Tom and Rick both are going to be in here tomorrow. What an absolute honor. I have been trying very hard, and so has Sherilyn, to try to get them to make a stop off here in the studio. And we talked for quite a bit about the possibility of having them on remotely, but to have them both here in the studio, we had to hit the timing just right. And it looks like this is going to be the one day out of the entire year that we're going to be able to have both Tom and Rick from Sweethearts and Heroes together in the studio tomorrow. So a real honor. I cannot wait to have them tomorrow afternoon. Exactly what time is kind of up in the air, because they're going to be doing a presentation in Vermont, and then they have a few-hour drive to get to Barrie. So I will let you know as soon as I have a pretty good idea. But I'm guessing somewhere between 2 and 3 tomorrow afternoon. And again, keep watching the page. I will be letting you know. Some buses are running a little late this morning, which is kind of thrown off a lot of people's schedules in certain towns all over Vermont. Some buses have a difficult time getting going when it's this cold. So there are some delays running. Some schools running on delay as well. I think more so up in the Northeast Kingdom, where, again, if you missed it this morning, they what I'm hearing is that most towns up in the Northeast Kingdom are running somewhere between 15 and 20, and I think there was one town. Was it Orleans? It was 22 below zero this morning. Air temp, again. So, yeah, when it's this cold, I would assume that the kids aren't going to be out playing outside for recess. It would be an assumption. let's see. I want to get to a couple of things here, but first off, the weather forecast. They're saying that we're going to warm up to around 12 today. I say this, at least that's double digits, because we all know here in Vermont that we have had cold snaps that have been much worse than this, where we've had daytime highs of -5, which I remember, daytime highs of 0 or 5 above. But to make it into the double digits, that's pretty good for a snap. I think we're going to do just fine. Tonight, they're saying most towns going to be around -10. And then Wednesday, sunny and cold, 13 tomorrow. The snap is kind of going to be coming to a slow end by Thursday. We're going to rebound a little bit to around 20 degrees on Thursday for high cloudy skies. And then looking ahead to Friday, a mix of sun and clouds and around 20 as well. So, yeah. So we'll do just fine. We'll do just fine. We'll be fine. Just, start the car up a little bit if you need to go anywhere. This morning was it was difficult to get out of bed. And maybe you're still in bed right now under the covers. Maybe you got the electric blanket on. Maybe you don't. But man, it was tough. It was tough. Did not want to get the fleece sheets. Oh. So comfy. Again, one more time here, and might be two more times. But I want to thank the volunteers that kept that shelter open at the Barrie Auditorium last night for folks who needed a warm place to stay. Down in the basement, they had the heat on, they had the cots set up, and I know so many of us are so grateful for this opportunity that we have to utilize that building in different ways, and as it should be. And last night it was only 4 people, from my understanding from reading in the Times-Argus this morning, took advantage of that emergency warming shelter last night. I wish more people would take advantage of that. And this is also an important time to also say, check on your neighbors, make sure they're fine, especially the elderly. Make sure they've, that their heat's working and that they're okay. And if their cabinet doors need to be opened up so their pipes don't freeze or whatever, just go over and just check on them, or at least pick up the phone and give them a call and say, hey, you doing all right? And make sure they know that the Barrie Auditorium is going to be open through Thursday as a warming shelter. And thank you again to all of the volunteers, and I don't know how many there are, that are running that emergency shelter up at the Barrie Auditorium. But, make sure if you know someone who's vulnerable in any way, whether they're disabled, they're elderly, what have you, just make sure they're okay. Just check on them. Don't assume that they are. Also, your pets. If and we posted up last night on Facebook a reminder to bring your pets indoors. If they're domestic animals that are indoors, outdoors, like our cats, get them on indoors today. And, just make sure they're okay. And if they're domestic animals that are outdoors, make sure there's shelter, there's food, there's water, that, if you got any, heating stuff, heating pads, whatever, that it's plugged in, everything is working. And if, and livestock too, make sure that, that they're okay as well. We all know that they're tough. But man, when it's this cold, even your chickens, tough animals. very resilient animals. But just double check. Make sure that all animals are well taken care of when it's this cold. Kind of goes without saying. It should be obvious, but Facebook question of the day this morning. I dropped this one at about 6 this morning. It's kind of a first of its kind project that is tapping into energy beneath the ground to heat and cool people's homes. It is a geothermal pilot program that was just launched in Massachusetts, and it could have customers saving a lot of money per month on their utility bills. I'm wondering, and this is what I posted up this morning, and please scroll down, and when you find the FBQ, the Facebook question of the day, post up your comments. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know if you think that Vermont lawmakers are aware of this, if Vermont lawmakers are paying attention to this. Maybe they are aware of this, but maybe they're not. And if something like this could possibly be considered in the future here in Vermont, and maybe the near future, I don't know. Kind of far out for this old fella, for me to digest something like that. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting. It is very interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about about Trump in a little bit and everything that went down yesterday. Well, not everything. We'll brush on it. There's a check in Vermont headlines. There's a fire this morning in Richmond that I understand has been the firefighters are battling. I don't know much more about that. I hope everyone is okay. Horrible timing. Man, when it's not that it's ever a good time, but when it's this cold, wow. We got the governor's news conference at 12 noon today. I am sure that he'll be discussing everything that happened yesterday up on the border. And if you're not familiar with what happened, it was pretty hectic yesterday. A Border Patrol agent assigned to the U.S. Border Patrol's Swanton sector was fatally shot in the line of duty yesterday afternoon at around 3:15. Vermont State Police had Interstate 91 closed between exits 27, which is the Newport exit, and exit 26, the Orleans exit. That was partially closed, and then the southbound lane was completely closed and expected to be part of a long duration closure, according to Vermont State Police. I haven't heard, and maybe you have, and if you have, please put it in the comments here right now so that I can see whether that southbound lane is still closed. I'm assuming, and my God, do we all know what happens when you assume? But I'm assuming that it is still closed because I haven't seen or heard otherwise. But what a tragedy. I just could not believe my eyes when that one popped up on my phone yesterday. When was the last time that a Border Patrol agent was killed in the line of duty? I don't know. Long time ago, I think. The FBI is leading the investigation, along with a lot of assistance from the Vermont State Police. And the FBI this morning is saying that a third person was injured and is now in custody. So, obviously there's a lot of questions here. Um, Vince Lucy was up in the area. There was a little bit of speculation that he was nearby the scene as this all happened and may or may not have witnessed this agent approaching a vehicle where he was fired upon. I think that was in some of the earlier reports from yesterday from WCAX, but it wasn't very clearly defined. There's a lot up in the air here. There's a lot of this story that we don't know, that so many Vermonters have questions about. I mean, the obvious, who was it? What happened? Why did it happen? Was the car loaded up with drugs? What's the story here? However, regardless of all of that, regardless of all of the details, which I'm sure will come to light here soon and made public, we lost a Vermonter. We lost a Border Patrol agent who was shot in the neck and died right there on the scene. My understanding is that the shooter was also killed. Don't know how, don't know by who, but that he was taken out. I don't know if he was by himself. I don't know if he was the only one in the car. I don't know. At this point, right now, it doesn't matter. What matters is, again, that we lost a Border Patrol agent. How this kind of shit can happen it's outrageous. And this has and will continue to rattle our community for some time, just as the officer shooting in St. Johnsbury has just recently. And, it especially at a time when we're seeing in the news that a lot of these border crossings are running on reduced hours with reduced staff, and that some of these borders are going to be temporarily closed due to staffing. I can't imagine being a Border Patrol agent, frankly, at any border. I just can't imagine. There are so many people that are grieving the loss of this Border Patrol agent yesterday. His family, his friends, his colleagues, other Border Patrol agents. We don't know if he was a dad, husband. We don't know. Don't even know how old he is. But yeah, this is crazy that this kind of shit is going down in our little Green Mountain state. Unbelievable. It makes you wonder, and it makes you question a lot of stuff. I hope that that answers are given. I hope that transparent answers are given, and that this story and all of the details of what happened and how something like this might be able to be prevented in the future. I hope all of this is brought to light sooner than later. I mean, this is crazy stuff. What's going on in our state, man? Stacy's saying that was that this story is even big news as far down as Florida this morning, where Stacy is. Very sad story yesterday. And again, I hope we get answers, but more importantly, how can something like this be prevented? You never know who's pulling up in front of you in a vehicle. You never know what they've got on board, and you never know what kind of person they are, and what's important to them, what their motives are, how desperate they are. Crazy shit. And at the 12 noon press conference today, it is my very strong assumption that the governor will be discussing this. As much as he is able to. Wow. Just wow. What else do we have going on in Vermont news? That is by far the lead story, by the way, and one that I'll be watching and paying attention to throughout the day, as I know you will as well. And if you see any developments in this story, please share it away. We have in the Times-Argus this morning 3 people that are facing criminal charges after police say they broke into a home right here in Barrie, Prospect Street. Stone's throw almost from where I am right now. Courtney Lackalade, 30 years old, of Williamstown. Joshua Gratton, 45, from Barrie. Isaiah Robert Whiteley, 34 years old. They've each been charged in Washington County Criminal Court in Barrie with a felony count of unlawful trespass into an occupied residence. And if convicted, each faces a maximum sentence of 3 years in prison. I know what you're thinking. Well, JD, come on, that'll never happen. Lackalade and Gratton pleaded not guilty at the arraignment. They were both released on conditions. Whiteley failed to appear for his arraignment, and now there's a warrant out for his arrest with a bail set at, are you sitting down? $100. Barrie City Police say that in their affidavit that a woman called to report that she believed 3 people had broken into her home on Prospect Street, and that the building is currently vacant. Police went to the scene. Neighbor confirmed that what the victim reported was true, that 3 people had entered the building. Police went into the building and could hear someone walking upstairs, announced themselves multiple times. Nobody responded. And police found the 3 down in the basement, hiding behind the furnace. So, shocker here. Drug paraphernalia was found on Whiteley. Similar story last night in Alburgh. And we've been seeing this pop up in the news where people are, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's desperation or, what it is, but people are showing up at people's homes, whether they're occupied or not, and just breaking in. Yeah, Becky, $100. Alburgh last night. Video security camera surveillance footage has been made public. I think it's on my NBC5 of this guy trying to break into a house in Alburgh last night in the middle of the night. Some homes, they look like they're vacant, but they're not. People live in there. And hopefully people that are protected, armed. Amazing. Absolutely amazing that this kind of stuff is happening here in Vermont. It really is. Let's see. Should we talk about yesterday? Or should we talk about the once-in-a-generation winter storm that is sweeping through the South? Bone-chilling temperatures, potentially historic snowfall. Stacy said, what did you say, Stacy? 60s this morning down in Fort Pierce, I think. Which isn't bad, but I know that we've been in touch with some people down in North Carolina and Georgia, and they're complaining about the cold. The governors in Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi, and Georgia have all declared states of emergency. People don't move down there when it gets a little cold. Everything is relative. And we can't say, well, that's not cold. Because they could say to us, oh, it's 95 up there. That's not hot. More than 220 million people across 40 states are affected by the bitterly cold air, with the upper Midwest and the northern plains likely to experience wind chills as low as 55 degrees below zero this week. If you were a governor, would you declare that as a state of emergency? I would think yes. I mean, again, these people they don't know how to deal with temperatures like that. That's crazy. And throw in some snowfall, and in some areas, some pretty heavy snowfall. 55 below. With temperatures like that, if your skin is exposed, it can cause hypothermia in a matter of minutes. Really is just crazy. Crazy. Yeah. I'm the only one in the shop not bundled up. Usual wardrobe, shorts and short sleeve shirt. Yeah, there's a blizzard watch in New Orleans. I mean, unbelievable. Do they have to deal with the Clean Heat Act as well? Nope. My niece is and will be for a few more days down at the inauguration and was there yesterday. And has sent me some pictures, which are pretty amazing. Everybody's got the black bow tie on. I'm not sure if you watched any of the inauguration yesterday. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. And I know I'm friends with all kinds of people. And I have friends that tuned into the inauguration and watched every second of it from morning until late last night, including coverage of President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, the inaugural ball dance, and watched the moment that they shared their first dance last night. Now, for me personally, I have 1,000,001 things that are more important for me to do. For others, they wouldn't have missed it for the world. I respect that. And I also respect those that couldn't have cared less about a second of the inauguration yesterday. Becky says it was like a train wreck. Couldn't look away. Caused a lot of anxiety. President Trump signed a series of executive actions within hours after taking office on Monday. Signing them, each of them, in their own leather-bound book. Signed each of them with a different pen. Had a laugh about that this morning. Revoking 78 of Joe Biden's policies. 78. Among a slew of immediate orders. Trump pardoned more than 1,000 people charged in the January 6th, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. And for the folks that don't like Trump this morning, that is one of several reasons for you to be infuriated, some of you, frustrated, some of you could care less. Whew. Is there an executive order that says that you cannot wear shorts outdoors if it's below zero? I don't think that one made the list yesterday. But the full, complete, and unconditional pardons extend to people who were convicted of some of the worst crimes committed on the day of the Capitol insurrection. Trump also declared a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border. National emergency. Triggering the use of Pentagon resources and personnel that will be deployed and used to build the border wall. I thought that was all built up. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is withdrawing the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement and the WHO, the World Health Organization. some of these things have made my eyebrows lift as they are right now, and some not. Wow. In his formal address yesterday, I thought he had generally some pretty good comments. And I don't know if you saw that. Some of it was making me wonder if the fact checkers were busy at work. That's what Trump does. He throws out facts that may not be facts. I mean, come on. Haven't all presidents done that? Haven't all politicians done that? But some of the things that he said in his formal address yesterday, I thought were well said. Some I couldn't believe. Some comments I couldn't believe. And then when he went downstairs and addressed the overflow crowd informally, that would be informal with a capital I. I mean, it was, I couldn't believe it. I know some of you say, JD, you shouldn't be surprised. You should believe it. But I couldn't believe how informal the ramblings were yesterday to that crowd. Completely unbridled. No teleprompter. No direction. Rambling all over the place. Talking like you would if you were at a cocktail party. And it was surprising. That's the only word I can come up with to witness some of that. And as Dave says, he got worse as the day went on. I mean, I couldn't believe how casual and informal it was. I know people who are fans of Trump who were even saying, texted me last night, just please stop. Stop. Somebody bring out the big hook and just pull him off. Away from the mic. Did you see the look on J.D. Vance's face yesterday? And the other guy, his name is drawn a blank, who was standing to Trump's left as they were downstairs during that very informal, what was it? A speech? It wasn't a speech, was it? Whatever it was, the look on those guys, on their faces, totally uncomfortable. I mean, at one point, the guy to Trump's left took his glasses off and was like, kind of did one of these. He was like, rubbed his eyes and like put his glasses back on and kind of blinked a few times like this, as if to say, where am I? What is happening right now? Amazing. Yeah. Dave says we should see cabinet members getting fired or quitting soon. Dave, there are people that would say to you and to me, don't be surprised. The older I get, the less I'm surprised by, frankly, anything. Anything. Lot of sirens this morning in Barrie. Very, very active morning for first responders, and I'm not sure what the hell's going on, but they have been ripping up and down North Main Street here in, I think, mostly to the east all morning. So I hope everybody is okay. Yeah. A fire in Montpelier is what Hillary's saying. And a fire in Richmond this morning as well. My God. I hope everyone is okay. Have you seen the pictures and or the video of this fire that broke out at this ski resort hotel in northwestern Turkey? I've heard in the news that 10 people have died. I've heard that 70 people have died in that. Investigators are working to determine the cause of the blaze at this popular winter vacation destination, again, in northwestern Turkey. And some of the videos that have been shared on social media and broadcast on TV in Turkey showing flames coming out of the top floors of this hotel. Video of people tying bed sheets together to try to escape this fire. 234 guests staying in the hotel. 234 people. Insanity. Yeah. Amazing. I'm just glancing here. You know, we've got some really big stories that are going on in our nation. And I'm not sure if some of the stupid shit, like what's going on with Costco and members of the Teamsters Union that have authorized a strike against Costco on February 1st, unless they reach a deal before then. I'm not sure if stories like this are just timed perfectly in order to distract us. But sometimes it seems that way. 18,000 Costco workers are set to go on strike at 56 warehouses across 5 states starting February 1st. Contract expires January 31st. Stuff like that, you know, it's like, I don't know. There's so many bigger things that are more worthy of my attention. 2 massive wildfires erupted in Los Angeles. Eight people have been arrested in Southern California. 8 accused of setting these fires in Southern California. Setting trees, bushes, leaves, trash on fire, and dead Christmas trees that have been left out for trash collection. People that have nothing better to do than walk around with a blowtorch, literally, and do stuff like this. 8 people. I wonder what will happen to those 8. I wonder if they'll get a slap on the wrist. I wonder who will even attempt to try to represent them. Amazing. What else is happening? Ohio State Buckeyes won the college football playoff national championship last night, beating Notre Dame 34-23. Pretty cool. Buckeyes thrilled. Super Bowl coming up. What is it? Sunday, is it the 9th? I'm pretty sure. I should know. Shame on you, JD. Should know this. What else did I want to tell you about? Oh. And I don't want to talk too much about this, about the Trump merchandise that you can buy now. I don't want to go too deep into the First Lady's fashion statement yesterday. Should have heard Sherilyn. What the hell is she wearing? What is that? Sombrero? But now we have news out this morning about Trump creating his new Bitcoin meme coins with Melania. Are you surprised by that? Come on, JD, you can't be surprised. It's been in the news for months. Bitcoin hits a new record of $109,000. Do we even say dollars anymore? After they launched these meme coins. 109K. Bitcoin stock has jumped 40%. 40% since Trump was elected in November. I'm saying to the whole Bitcoin thing, thanks, but no thanks. I'm good. Man, there's some crazy, crazy shit going on in our world. Thanks for the comments this morning. Boy, there's a lot of them. What's my Super Bowl prediction? Am I really the person that you want to ask that question to? I don't. I always go for the underdog. What can I say? I don't know. I'll be happy to sit with a warm blanket and maybe some of my famous beef stew. That's my prediction for Super Bowl Sunday. What else? What's whacked in the world? Oh my God, so much. So much. Just turn your phone on. like I did yesterday, and saw that this woman in Texas just won $2.8 million in court after a restaurant's barbecue sauce burned her leg. She dropped the container and it caused a second-degree burn. This restaurant allegedly serves their barbecue sauce at 189 degrees. Is that boiling? I mean, getting burned by coffee is bad enough. But this is more like napalm. Delicious napalm, yes, but still, nonetheless. I mean, you can imagine dropping 189-degree barbecue sauce on your leg. Guessing she was wearing shorts, don't know. Bill Miller Barbecue is the name of the restaurant chain in Texas. Got about 80 locations. Corpus Christi and Austin and elsewhere. She ordered 4 of the breakfast tacos with a side of barbecue sauce. Pulled into the parking lot to eat. First of all, I understand Texas doesn't play around, but who the hell's eating barbecue sauce for breakfast? Maybe they do in Texas, but I don't want barbecue sauce on my breakfast burrito. Hot or cold barbecue sauce. But apparently, second-degree burns. For reference here, and I'm just looking, water boils at 212 degrees, and this barbecue sauce was 189 degrees, so not too far off. Wow. Impairment, disfigurement, medical expenses, lost wages, physical and mental pain. Restaurant 100% negligent and awarded her $2.8 million in damages. Wow. There's a lot of heavy stuff in the news. I know. And I know that so many of you are discouraged and hopeless and everything about yesterday. But look at what's in front of you and focus on your own life, what's important to you, and the obvious good things that we have in front of us. Lighten up a little bit. Prioritize things that are or should be most important to you. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. I leave you with something a little light this morning. Maybe put a smile on your kisser. The woman in Turkey who is a proud world record holder, Guinness Book of World Records, after using her power. This is a true story, Dave. I'm not making this up. After using her powerful thighs to crush the world record, 5 watermelons in 60 seconds. People take this stuff seriously. Guinness Book of World Records. Sitting on the ground, putting a watermelon between your legs, and crushing it with your powerful thighs. How many can you do in 60 seconds? Thanks for liking and following the page. Don't forget to comment and share any episode that you enjoy. We are always live, always local, never edited. From Fly on the Wall Productions, streamed everywhere you get your podcasts and on the web at airedoutVT.com. Be well, everyone. Yes, please, do like Dave and keep smiling, okay? We'll be okay. Stay warm.
Let's go.